fumbles. Here is Stephen Jones on the matter.
Pickens, of course, leaning toward the franchise tag. We'll finalize that here over the coming week or 10 days, and then we'll go from there. We want Pickens here. Think the world of him. Want him here, love him, and I think he wants to be here. So all that's a plus. A lot of guys who we've tagged, participated in everything. Dak leading the way, and he played under 2 of them, so he never missed anything. Hopefully that'll be the case here.
Hopefully. That is positive thinking by Mr. Jones. Peter Schrager and Jason McCourty join us now here on First Take. Schrags, is this going to be a prove-it year for Pickens?
Yes, it's going to be a prove-it year for Pickens, just like last year was a prove-it year for Pickens. And I listened to Stephen Jones's comment, and I'm imagining I'm George Pickens on this Tuesday morning, and I'm waking up wherever George Pickens is, like, do not compare me to Dak Prescott. And that is what the Cowboys are going to do. They're going to say, if Dak did it, you should do it too. Take the tag and be happy. You're going to make $28 million. What are you worried about? Truth of the matter is, Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback who, when he was tagged, was making upwards to $40 million or $50 million for a year. And it wasn't really a prove it. It was a let's figure it out.
Yeah.
For George Pickens, when he was traded by the Pittsburgh Steelers, the rap was, can't rely on him, malcontent, don't know where he's going to be. I think he silenced all of those questions in his 1 year with the Dallas Cowboys.
Hello and welcome to another Sports Spin, where we take a sports story and we spin it. I'm Sun-EB7 and thank you for joining. So, we're going to talk about the Jones boys today. The old Cowboys. Yeah, his son. Oh, just like Dad. I see it coming. And I can tell you, yeah, Pickens traded. He ain't going to last. So don't lose no sleep over it. Don't lose no sleep over it. He'll be traded by tomorrow. They're gonna franchise tag him, but I don't think that's a bad idea for Pickens to take it. But if you want to be a number one, and if the Raiders come calling and they got a new coach, new setup, that's a better option. That's a better option. You can't be taking Dallas just so you can get the money, unless you just like getting the money. I mean, Dallas is a great city. You can live there. I get all that. But if your game, if your job or if your thing is to win in football, then you're going to want to go somewhere where they win. But I will say, Dallas will trade you to a Super Bowl champ. That's almost guaranteed. So, you got to weigh the difference. George Pickens can be a number one for a team. He got a bad rap on him for some things that he did at Pittsburgh or said. But that's not what he showed last year. That's not what he showed. He actually showed a lot of professionalism, a lot of maturity and growth, and and that he can be a number one. He wasn't bad at all. I kind of with them too, with him and CeeDee Lamb, I kind of get the whole, I can't say it because then you're gonna trip. No, I'll say this. I kind of get the Drew Hill and what was that other receiver? At one point it was Golden Richards, but it was another one. And I was just going to say it, and then I forgot it. But it doesn't matter. Those are two great receivers that can play off of each other. You just need your quarterback to stay healthy, and you need him to get the ball down the field in the places that you don't get hurt. These quarterbacks, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but I can tell you those hospital balls ain't no joke. These guys have to make business decisions. And as a quarterback, and this is for Dak Prescott, I ain't talking to him. I mean, he don't care. But you know what I'm saying? Quarterbacks like that has to start thinking about when you're looking at a receiver, you already know his route. You know where he's going to be. Check the area. If you got to have him, if he's wide open and you got to have him, hit him early. Yeah, he going to say you threw it behind him, but he doesn't know you're throwing him open. You just have to make better decisions. Don't send your quarterback, don't send your receivers right into a major hit. That has to be part of your game plan. Otherwise, you ain't gonna never have your receivers because they're gonna be always hurt. Another thing I would say is an earlier video where I talked about A.J. Brown being another top receiver and the quarterback that they have is not necessarily a prolific drop back quarterback. Now, that's not to say he should change. Never ever let anybody change you. Well, who you are. When you start changing for people, that's when you're gonna fail. But that doesn't take away the fact that that doesn't mean they're not great quarterbacks, but they're not great prolific step back and just gun them down. They're not that. They can be great at other things other quarterbacks can't be great at. Sitting back, picking off tight end receiver, number one, number two, running back out the backfield. They're not Kurt Warner. Neither one of them. Hurts or Dak Prescott. So because of that, you're wasting time and money on two receivers. You don't need them. He's only going to hit one of them. And I know you can only hit one at a time, but if you go back and look at the Cowboy games, Eagle games too, who's the hot guy for the day? That's who they're hitting. If you watch them, it may have happened, but I rarely ever see a game where two Eagles or two Cowboy receivers have 100-yard days. Now, I've seen it with other teams. I've seen it with other quarterbacks. But with those two, I haven't seen a day where both receivers have 100-yard days. I've seen that with Tua many a times. His receivers, his top receiver will have 120 plus, 130. And his secondary receiver will have 95, 110. He'll have 200-yard receivers that day. And so since you don't have that, why not take that and use that to build something? But we talking about the Cowboys here, so I don't even know why I even thought that, it doesn't matter. They're going to do like they always. And is it me or does the Cowboys, is the best thing for the Cowboys is the draft? Every draft day, they have this big, huge thing. Jerry Jones go get on his yacht and eat hot dogs and watch. And well, I don't know about the hot dogs part, but you know what I'm saying? He go get on his yacht and sit back and chill and draft pick. And they pick big names and all that. And then they come out here and be mediocre. I think draft day is the best day for Jerry. I don't think he cares about the rest of the season. He says, "Oh, we gonna do this, we gonna do that." I'll go back to that trade. That trade was not a good trade. I know other coaches, that's done it would say, "No, he had a bad attitude. I would trade him." I don't give a. So here's the thing: if you're trading him because he's a cancer to your team, that's one thing. But if you're trading him because he can't play or because he has a weakness, yeah, that's not a smart trade. And I'll go back to that. In fact, you traded him, and one game stopped Green Bay from getting into the playoffs, and many stopped the Cowboys. In fact, Green Bay was one of their games that stopped them. So yeah, no, you cannot. That trade was bad. But that being said, and since the draft is coming up, this is their time of year anyway. They're just going to get some big names. They're going to trade and get some big names. They're going to have a big all-star roster coming out for the 26th season. And game 4, something is going to fail. I hate to sound like Stephen A. because I don't understand that they hear him saying that and they still do it. But it is true. It's like he said, what he say is like a black cat walking around. Yeah, it's like they've been cursed. I don't know. But I would say, and I'm not going to get into who they should draft and all that. I'm over that. Years I've been like, oh, this is a great draft pick. I hope they get this guy. I hope they get that guy. And they get him. And then what? Having a great draft day with a great superstar-studded team with a regular coach, yeah, that's like a Mercedes-Benz without power steering. I'm just saying, you're not doing anything. you're not getting the value for what you picking. But back to Pickens and the Cowboys. The Cowboys don't need 2 big-time receivers. If I'm them, I trade Pickens for something on defense. I got to replace that linebacker I lost. That linebacker produced sacks. I don't have a sack-producing defense. And so now I got to replace him. And I got draft picks, and I can get more draft picks by giving up Pickens. And that's what I would do. It's not because Pickens is not good. I think he's very good. I think he's good for the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a lot of things. When CeeDee Lamb goes down, they don't really lose a lot with Pickens. They don't lose much of any with Pickens. So that's great. But Dak Prescott doesn't play full seasons. He just doesn't. I mean, he's got a lot on his mind. He got a lot of things to think through, and he's aging, but he doesn't play full seasons. And when he plays, he's not a 350, 450 yard a game type of quarterback passing. He's so if you're not a 350, 400 yard throwing quarterback, you're not throwing the 2 receivers, because you can get the 100, 200 from one. A receiver and a tight end and a couple flares from the running back, you can get you 200. You don't need 2 number ones or 1 and 2 for that. So I just think that they'd be better served getting a defense. And let's face it, they're in the NFC East, who's known for defense. Maybe not last year, but over the years, if you go back and you look at the NFC East, that has been one of the top defensive divisions in football for almost ever. And so they need to go back to defense. They need to make their defense their staple, and the offense be the cream on the cream. You go back and look at those 3 Super Bowls that Dallas won with Emmett Aikman. Emmett Aikman and Irvin get all the credit. But it was that defense. Norton, Leon Lett, Russell Maryland, that defense, Woodson, defense was star-studded. People remember the points, but they don't remember that you stopped everybody else. Unless you have a defense that outshines the offense, like the Ravens or the 85 Bears. Well, those defenses outshine the offense. They just shut the game down. But you had Sanders, you had Woodson, you had Teague. Man, that defense was, So I'm not taking anything away from the offense. They were good. But, and the reason why I say that is because when you look at the scores when they played back then, they were winning 30, 40, 35, 38, to 14. They wasn't giving up no points, and they were scoring points. So they were equally as good, but that was a star-studded defense. I'll put it this way, that defense they had back then, any quarterback would win with them. Now, they were that good. So I say take Pickens and get what you can for him. He's a great receiver, but I don't think Dallas can use him, because if they're going to use him, they need a quarterback that is prolific, that gets the ball downfield. Williams up in Chicago, that kind of quarterback that'll run around and find him a receiver. He finds guys to throw to, and that makes him, prolific at throwing. And so if you got that kind of guy, then you need 2 receivers, because when one's not open, they got the other one. But when you got a guy that that's not what he's doing. He's looking for his number 1. If his number 1 ain't open, he probably going to look at the number 2, and then he's going to start running. If he don't start running, he might throw a hospital ball. And that's, again, I'm not trashing Dak Prescott's game. That's just what I've observed. So, anyway, I just wanted to make this video because I wanted to say something about that interview that you saw up in front. Go back and look at it again, and you'll probably see what I wanted to say. But I didn't, because it's about Pickens, and I just left the rest of that stuff out of there. I refrained from being controversial today. But outside of that, yeah, that was my opinion on Pickens. That's all I have for today. Thanks for joining. Hope you like, share, and subscribe. And I'm gonna get it out. And remember, this sports story has been spun. Take care.